Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the WiTalks exclusive, the seventh episode in this series. My name is Rashmi Mandloi, and I am the managing partner of Beyond Diversity Consulting Firm, where over the last decade, we have passionately and tirelessly worked towards building an equal and diverse world by celebrating differences and embracing uniqueness. It's been a pleasure to come to the Women in Tech India platform, whose focus is to increase women participation in STEM by providing resources to upskill, progress, and present the right opportunities. Today's session is on tech's changing priorities to innovate or to optimize. And we are in conversation with the effervescent Radhika Saigal. As partner EY, she leads technology transformation and process efficiency improvement practice for BFSI capability centers in India. With a rich 21 years of finance IT experience, she has been a true women in tech leader with experience in robotic process automation, machine learning, artificial intelligence, and emerging technology strategy. A true example of pivoting in a career with diverse experience working in offshore centers, bank, and now in the consulting world. Her mantra is enjoy your job because careers truly get made that way. Radhika is a university rank holder in computer engineering from Bombay University, and she has won multiple awards throughout her career. Welcome, Radhika.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Rashmi, for that introduction. And thank
And
you, Women in Technology, the entire team, for having me here.
it's such a pleasure to have you on this platform and speaking to you, Radhika. I'm very excited for this conversation to go on.
Pleasure is all mine. I'm excited too.
Okay, so my first question to you is slightly personal. So, how did you decide on a career in technology? We would love to hear your journey on embracing this field of technology and how.
Thanks, Rashmi. Rashmi, this will take me back to my childhood. It was post 10th grade. I had a lot of time on hand during that vacation. And I enrolled myself in multiple courses, right from art to one of the course was computer programming. And within 2 weeks into that particular course, I realized, yes, this is what I want to do. I enjoyed that course so much. And I felt that that is something that is able to leverage my skills of logical thinking and to enhance that. And that was the point when I decided that this is what I want to do. Post which I took science in 11th and 12th with computer science as additional subjects. Went on to do computer engineering. I enjoyed studying that so much that it reflected on my ranks, and that's where I got that university rank holder status because of what I was enjoying to do. So it has to go back to that particular exposure that I got post 10th grade to explore that what technology brings for you.
Yes, absolutely. So you actually, sort of embraced what was given to you. So there was, so we need to thank your parents for pushing you to go into that course. And you, of course, sort of, pivoting from there and taking it full on. So now just coming back to the current situation, when we're talking about STEM and women in tech. In fact, this platform is Women in a Tech platform for women. We still don't see a lot many women in the STEM field. Why do you think so?
So for interest of larger public, let me just tell what is STEM. STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and maths. Um, Rashmi, I was reading one article on World Economic Forum, and some of the statistics there was very alarming. Just about less than 30% of overall world's population who is working in STEM is women. And in India, it is as low as 15%. Though there
Wow.
are good news, wherein, in the Central Asia, countries like Myanmar, etc., it is almost 50-50%. There was another very good article that I read in Forbes, which proved that this is not biological. It is not biologically proven that there is a difference between a man and a woman, because of which man is more engineered towards doing engineering. So, what is it all about? It is all about environment. So, exposures somehow is given more to men, you buy toys which are gadgets, and to girls, you will buy dolls right from the day they are born. So the entire environment starts at home. You have to give them exposure, both men as well as women, both boy child as well as a girl child. You have to give that exposure, and then choose whatever they feel like choosing as a field, and you will see that difference. And to all the women out there, and all the men out there who are thinking about engineering or technology, if that excites you, go ahead and do it. But always remember, whichever field you choose, technology is going to be a base for that. Today, after post COVID, you're seeing that entire teaching is happening online. My mom is purchasing grocery online. My dad is doing all the payments online. He's 70 plus. He had never done that before, but everything is being done online. So whatever field, whether it is medical field, whether it is psychology, or even you want to be a lawyer, everything will need technology as a base. So do not run away from it, embrace it, but go ahead and do and make a career in whatever you enjoy.
Beautiful, beautiful. So you're saying people should get the environment and the exposure so that they can make their own choices, and also embrace technology in everything that you do. Beautiful. So, in fact, you have just written a report which has come called "The Financial World in the Post-COVID World from a CIO Lens," where you're saying that 30% of the current work being done by humans in a bank can be done by machines. Can you give an overview of this change that you foresee and the other changes which might be touching other industries?
Sure, Rashmi. And it is not to get alarmed that 30% of the job will be cut. It just means that the work which is mundane, which is repetitive in nature, can be replaced by technology, by robots. And that means that it is opening an avenue for human resource to work towards more creating a better digital world and a better business world. So in a financial service sector, if you look at in a particular bank, which is a big global bank, you have multiple applications and systems on the forefront. But behind that, many of those systems do not talk to each other. So there are a lot of people working in terms of reconciliation, documentations, etc. All of that can be digitized. And that is where the current focus has been. So, Rashmi, one more very interesting fact I would like to share is one another survey said that millennials, the tomorrow's generation, 70% of them feel that they are ready to leverage non-financial service sector for their financial needs. And that is an alarming fact for financial service sectors. That also means that there are these fintechs which are completely digital, small in nature. They are coming there and they are replacing and are capturing the attention of the millennials. So all these big banks have no choice. Either they have to partner with fintechs or they have to create their own fintech journey or a digital journey so that they are not losing out on the business. And that is the current focus on. And that is where, at a large scale, this digitization is happening and mundane, repeated KPO, BPO kind of work is getting digitized.
Yeah, so I can see it right now as well. So you have Apple Pay, and you have technology, telecom companies, instrument making companies actually getting into payment and other systems. I was
Even
also hearing
Amazon,
about even
you,
Amazon,
you,
of
you
course.
purchase on Amazon and now you can bank on it there.
Yeah, and I don't remember. Maybe you would know. There was this automobile company which is actually also foraying into digital payments. A very famous one. I'm not getting it right now. So yeah, so I think industries are getting agnostics, and it's all merging somewhere or the other. So we need to be embracing technology and not run away from it. So, in your report, you also said that there's a lot of focus right now in reducing cost through infrastructure rationalization and optimizing the application landscape. So, what would be your advice to your clients when you go and meet them? What was the first thing that you would advise them to do?
The world is changing. They have to adopt digitization. Everyone knows that. But the fact remains that there's no extra funding coming from anywhere. In fact, there's another report which says that, in fact, funding to CIOs is going to reduce further or it's reducing further because there is huge margin pressure. That means you have to create that cost through the optimization of your backend. You have to optimize your business as usual, your run the bank in a financial world, to get that cost to be diverted towards your change the bank, so that you're becoming truly digital. So my now all my conversations and all the conversations on CIO side currently is, first is how to make their entire workforce working virtually, which everybody is doing right now with all the lockdowns at a pace that nobody had seen before. Everybody is working virtual. Second priority, making your business completely digital. Your customer needs are changing, so adopt that. And three is optimize your business as usual cost, so that you can spend in either digitizing or doing a mergers and acquisition with another fintech.
Okay, so how do I take the decision? Of course, you are a consultant and you are there to, sort of advise them. But if I am a small time entrepreneur and I, what is my first thing that I need to do to, and I know that I need to be doing digitization and I need to be, looking at, sort of my entire data, artificial intelligence. So how do I go about it?
So if you are an entrepreneur, it is easier, Rashmi. It is much tougher if you have a legacy which you have to carry on and then you have to change. So now, I was talking about this entire fintech. The biggest advantage that they have is they are starting fresh. They are starting in this new digital world. So you know what is the new world looking like, and you are creating that entire fabric in accordance with the business demand. So now when you are now starting new, depends upon whatever business you are choosing, you will first have to look at it from customer standpoint. What is customer wanting? And in this new era where everything is on touch of a hand or a finger through your mobile, how will you take that to that particular customer? And how will you create that reach? And what will be the technology as a base or as a platform to take that business need to your customer? That would be your starting point.
Okay, so pre-COVID and post-COVID, the customer was always the king and remains the king. So I think they are the center of focus. So
Absolutely. That's not
yeah,
going to
so
change. That is one thing which will never change, Rashmi.
yeah, I know. So we are live right now in all the platforms of Women in Tech. So I would also want the audience to please put in your comments, and I will, sort of take the questions. If you have any questions to ask Radhika, I will be very happy to play it out to her. So please do put your comments on from whichever platform that you're watching in from, Twitter live or Facebook live or LinkedIn live or Instagram live, and I will, sort of reach it out to Radhika. Okay, so Radhika, you talked about saying customer is the king. So now in the post-COVID world, where now everything is right now working from home and everybody is sort of embracing digitization, they don't have a choice. But do you think people are ready?
People, Rashmi, are resilient. It is, if I can use a majority of this, this is an Indian time zone, so jugadu is the word. Everybody here is getting resilient, and I gave that example. I used to tell my dad that he needs to get onto a, learn how to do a digital payment. And he said, for me, I feel a lot more secure going to a bank and doing that transaction through a checkbook or passbook, etc. Now he does not feel safe to go to a bank. So he
Uh,
has himself, without any assistance, learned how to do a digital payment and got digital. So that's one
wow.
example of a 70 plus. So people are ready. Answer is yes. They were already digital savvy when it came to doing phone or a Facebook or an Insta or doing a social communication. Everybody was digital savvy. Now they are ready even for everything that is happening, including small kids. Uh, we are not getting into whether it is right or wrong. Small kids, even pre-primary kids, are doing their lessons online. So
Yeah.
from that generation to 70 plus, from my maid, I can see her now online as well. Everybody is has adapted to this new environment and very very fast.
Yeah. So, of course, we're talking about the people who have access to technology. What about people who do not have access to technology? And you're talking about the education now, which has completely gone digital. But we have, the kids in the municipal schools, etc. And there is only one Android phone with the entire family, and the entire school learning is happening on that phone, and the person is not able to come. So what do you think? I'm talking about digital literacy in rural India. What do you think we need to be doing that to sort of get a lot more, because digitization is there. So how can we sort of help the entire India, entire country to sort of embrace this further, and what steps should, as a technocrat, as you would want to sort of do and change in this current scenario?
No, right, Rashmi. The gap between haves and have not is very big. And unfortunately, in current environment, it is becoming bigger. With people like us who have digital means, we are continuing to work, we are continuing to get paid. There are so many daily wage earners. With all the lockdowns, they have really suffered, and that gap has further increased. Now, but the cost of, say, a mobile phone over the years have certainly gone down, and so has all the initiatives which government, as well as through corporate social responsibility, all the big firms have taken to bring that digital and innovation, or at least the learning element, to villages. And there are community televisions and community channels being set up, etc. In fact, I can give an example of my maid who has a daughter in some remote village in Jharkhand, where they didn't even have electricity till like a couple of years back, and now that she's working here, she does a daily video chat with her. And she took a lot of stuff and a lot of links from me, what her daughter can do and learn digitally when she goes back home. So yes, the reach is reaching our villages. A lot more needs to be done. All of us have that responsibility. All the corporates have that responsibility, and so does government.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we all need to sort of keep ourselves in sync to embrace the new normal. And of course, we also, as people who have access and have privilege to have technology with us, I think we all also need to sort of help the not so privileged to be more close to technology. So in fact, I was talking
Absolutely.
to one of a very interesting entrepreneur, and she was saying that she is planning to sort of because this now the entire education has moved to rural areas and everything is online. She was thinking of making the cheapest laptop in the country for about 11-12 thousand bucks, and she said, this would be so nice if people, lower income people are get access to that laptop to study. So I think we need those kind of newer thinking, newer innovations to come to help people solve problems. And in fact, yesterday was a hackathon award, which was managed by the Women in Tech platform, and such amazing ideas which came in. So I think technology is there. We just need to sort of get into it and embrace it and come across for more solutions. So I will repeat again. We are live right now on all the platforms. If you have any questions to speak to Radhika, please put in your questions on the comments box, and I will try and take it up with her. So, we've talked a lot about digitalization. Right now, let's come back to your career. I mean, women in India, in all the, we are still less. In fact, across the world, the women participation in the workforce is still very, very less. So, what do you think could be some of the, with the new generation coming in? Where do you think we can actually, how can we, as women professionals right now at a certain point in a career, how can we help other women to, sort of, take on life and, sort of reach the career ladder as you have? So it'll be great to hear your career journey as well, and also your advice to the younger generation of women.
Sure, Rashmi. So, two things that I would like to talk about. One, which I have already spoken about, is do what you enjoy doing, and you'll automatically be good at that. The second very important element is what I feel behind every successful woman is a whole family, her whole family. So it is very, very important to build that social ecosystem around yourself. So if I talk about myself, I'm privileged. I had the most supportive parents, husband, my in-laws, including my kids. They're very, very supportive. And I have built an ecosystem of maids. We call it a parade of maids that are running my house behind me, so that we are not missing out on any specific stuff. So building your ecosystem is a must. Building that environment of support is a must. And a very important, Rashmi, that I keep saying, that it cannot be just a responsibility of a woman. And that's where, now, I always keep saying that when you give flexibility just to a woman, you're creating the parity even further. You're expecting women to do it all. That's not possible. There is no superhuman being out here. It has to be a flexibility given both to men as well as to women, so that men are taking and shouldering responsibility equally at home, so that women can shoulder equal responsibility in workplace, and it is equality in true sense. So that is a must. So all people out there, it starts at home. You, if you have sons, daughters, you have to teach this equality to both of them. And all the people out there, now if you're a woman, go ahead and do it. Build your own positive environment around yourself. Believe in yourself and go ahead and do it. And to all the men, you will have to shoulder equal responsibility everywhere, and only then women will succeed.
Such amazing words of advice, and I totally understand. As women, we need to be having our stakeholders, be it stakeholders in office or be it stakeholders at home, and we have to have an entire ecosystem behind us, be it our parents, be it our husband, or be it our the entire support structure like our maids and drivers who are helping us out. And of course, this flexibility thing that you talked about, it needs to apply equally to men as well. So I'm a diversity consultant, and I remember when I was going across to all these organizations, every organization used to say, yeah, we have a flexibility policy, but it was only 0.01% utilization at that point of time. And now the world has changed. Everybody is working flexibly. Everybody is work from home. So I think the mindsets have also shifted. And now working from home, there is equal responsibility. I see a lot of men taking a lot of responsibility at home. So I think the times are changing. People are also, sort of conforming to the changes. And I do hope that we do see a much more equal world going forward. So,
Absolutely.
okay, so I have some live comments coming in. So there is this one question from Neeta Srivastav, and she's asking, "Hi Radhika, what would be the future of China-backed digital or tech firms in India with the current scenario?"
That's a rather than a technology question, that's a political question, and I have to be very careful what I'm saying on this social media. But certainly, we do have lots and lots of underutilized talent in India. And now going back to what Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said, become Atmanirbhar. If we leverage all of the talent that we have in India, we are going to be the world's biggest economy, and we are going to be beating them in every aspects, so as to say. So while the funding may be coming from anywhere in a global environment, the focus has to be in line to our prime minister, and leveraging our talent for becoming Atmanirbhar and digitized India.
Yeah, and actually, we need more entrepreneurs. We need all people, lots of people to take risk, and also see, innovation and creativity in newer things. And that is how we will be able to, sort of see how that and sort of back behind India and not just say it's India-China war. So
Absolutely.
great words of advice, Radhika. So there are okay, there is another question from Milan Varma. He says, "Hi Radhika, we're delighted to have you here. As you have mentioned, we switched to technology in no time. Does it remain the same post COVID? What are your thoughts on this?"
Hi. Yes, the the world was waiting for this digital pace to pick up, and it has picked up. So there is no going back on this. Everybody is going to leverage technology, and the best is yet to come. You can't even imagine how the world would be, and at the pace at which the technology is progressing, things which are going to happen we have not even thought about, and it's going to happen soon. Including, if you're asking in terms of the ways of working, if many of the companies have moved, or most of the companies have moved to work from home, some of them have already announced, likes of TCS, Infosys has already announced at least some percentage of the population will continue to work from home. But the broader sense of it, the innovations which has happened is going to continue, and that pace is going to get even faster.
Okay. So we are continuing to embrace technology going forward as well in the post-COVID world. Is that what you are saying? Okay. So there is another question from Shweta Ahuja, and she's talking about cybersecurity now. Since we are embracing digital technology, there is this entire threat about of security there. So she's saying, "Hi Radhika, I think India is not ready with cybersecurity, but we want to go digital as it is the need of the hour. So is it a dichotomy? Do you have any advice on that?"
So, in fact, there is a lot of focus on cybersecurity, not just from an India standpoint, it is worldwide. If you look at some statistics again that I will throw here, is there by 2022, the world would have spent more than $6 trillion on cybersecurity. So there is a huge focus on enhancing cybersecurity. And I wouldn't agree to the fact that India is not ready. There is a huge focus and good talent available. In fact, Ernst& Young, one of the biggest projects that we were running immediately after this lockdown was enabling organizations to be working from home and supporting them in their cybersecurity. Yes, the need of cybersecurity has increased, but we do have the right means to get there.
Awesome. So we are not just Atmanirbhar, we also know how to manage our risks. So we are
That's right.
all there. Yeah, we just need to, sort of take stock of the situation and just move forward. So,
That's right.
Radhika, so now, just coming back to, women leaders in STEM, and there are very few women leaders in STEM, and you have like had a rocking career, but you've also pivoted in your career, right? So yesterday when we were talking, you said that you were doing a lot more different things about 10 years back to what you're doing right now. So would you share your journey with us? I think it would be great learnings for us.
Sure, Rashmi. I got my first job through campus. When there, within 2 years, I shifted to an organization called CITL, which became iFlex, which became OFSS. 12 years I was there. The company went through three name change and big growth. And I was there, and I was enjoying that growth and evolution of that company and my evolution there. I was initially globetrotting between India, US, Europe, Australia, facing off with clients, helping them solve their business need through technology and leading this technology teams offshore. To the extent that when I left OFSS, I had a huge team of 500 plus people way back in 2012, and I changed my job and went as an independent contributor into City. And
Wow.
from there, I then again now went and because I wanted to do something different, and everybody was very surprised. You're doing so well. Why have you taken that particular break? And it goes back to the fact that I was within myself feeling stagnated. I've been doing the same thing over and over again. I want to challenge myself and do something which will make me happy and more happier. And that's where I took that big step. And then from there, working on strategy in the city, wearing three different hats to setting up a technology center, growing it from 0 to 5,000 plus people, helping in that entire operational journey, evolution journey. It was again a very good career for 7, 8 years. Everyone was looking, wow, you're doing pretty well. And again, I rebooted myself and I went and joined Ernst& Young just about 7, 8 months back. Again, my philosophy, I haven't made too many changes. I'm a very stable person. I like to grow with an organization. I have made just a couple of changes at two different juncture. Both the juncture, I was at a high. But somewhere within me felt that I need now to do something different. I need that kick where I'm feeling, wow, that wow factor to go to office every day, and that's where I have made that shift.
Amazing, amazing. So no, what I'm hearing from you is that you've actually done what you felt like doing. You totally believed in yourself, and you had the confidence, and you actually achieved it. So, but there are also these mindsets, like you said, from a team manager, you took an individual contributor role, and people were saying, "Why are you doing that?" So, how do you, sort of, how do you combat these kind of mindsets? How do you combat people who have pre-existing biases around certain situations or things? How do you sort of navigate those kind of situations or people?
So to be very frank, one thing, especially in our kind of society, we have to just hear about the people who matter to us, that inner circle, that ecosystem who matters to us, and we will have to put a stop to hearing, forces which may not be that positive in your life, and especially the social now world. It is very common for a woman to hear, "Oh my God, you leave your kid behind. How do you do that? What kind of a heart do you have?" I've heard that. Okay,
Yeah.
I've heard that kind of comments, and the same people I've also heard telling their daughters, "Be like her. She's
Ah,
your role model." So the society will always have two or three different ways of dealing with the situation. Your life is your life. You know your life the best. You know your situation the best. You know what makes you feel happy. Listen to that, and listen to your inner circle of family and that your ecosystem. What works best for that, go ahead and do that.
okay, so I think you've also answered this question from Yoshika Chabra, who says, "Hey Radhika, do you feel women have to go the extra mile to prove their worth in the office space? Also, generally, women tend to be slightly soft-spoken, and their points can get undermined. How do you recommend we cope with that?"
Be persistent, even if somebody is not listening to a soft voice. Be persistent, and that will pay you in a longer run. If you're confident about what you're doing is right, and be confident, that's important. If you're right, just be confident and persist. That's my advice.
So with confidence and with women, there's also this thing about the imposter syndrome. So women always feels that she's not ready. So you could be confident saying that and women sometimes, most of the women that I have interviewed and I've done a lot of research, they always say that they always feel they're not yet ready. So do you have any advice to that?
It's so right, Rashmi. In fact, I was mentioning about this Forbes article, right, which said that genetically men and women, it's not that men is more engineered to do engineering. The second reason there, first was environment, second was women themselves. So that statistics showed that till about mid school, girls do very well in science and maths, and they're pretty confident about it. But by the time they go to high school, they start doubting their own self. And that is that self doubt which takes them behind. So, guys, girls out there, do not doubt. If you are confident, you're not here to prove anybody else other than yourself and your core group, correct? And if you're proud of doing something, just go ahead and do it.
Okay, so amazing pieces of advice from you, and we'll take a question from Anuranjita also, who is asking, what keeps you going and what are your drivers and dreams?
Thanks, Anu. Good to hear from you. Um, what keeps me going is the enjoyment that I get every single day. Every single day, I feel that yes, I am going out there and doing and making a difference. And the day I feel that I'm not, that's where I will again pivot. So that keeps me going. The things keep cropping up. There are situations which happen where you need to look behind and see what you're leaving behind, especially now, are you giving enough time to your family, to your kids, etc. And that balance is something that the work life balance cannot happen on a day to day basis, but on a holistic level it has to happen. And that's what I keep then juggling around with. And with a support system and a supportive husband and family, that becomes a little easier.
Okay, so confidence, support, managing your stakeholders well, and being flexible to your needs and actions. I think that is the advice which is coming from you. So there's another question from Anamika Nair, and she's saying, as a leader yourself, what is your advice for other leaders who are feeling the weight of the world on their shoulders in these unprecedented times?
Don't feel the pressure, but just go ahead and do it. So keep the pressure aside, but go ahead and do your level up now best. Keep innovating. Take your teams along with you. Behind every successful leader is not the leader, but the entire team that is working behind that leader. Take them with you. Get to and leverage the diverse talent that you have in your organization and your teams, and just go and embrace the new world and create a new path without taking that load on your shoulder. That's
Yeah.
that's my advice.
And if I might just add, asking for help, sometimes we just don't ask for help. We can be
Absolutely.
transparent and we can be, vulnerable in showing our weakness and asking for help. I think that also helps. So I think that should
Absolutely.
also.
We can't do it all. I mean, we don't need to do it all. Let's
Yeah.
just take as much help, support, but go ahead and do our level best.
Yeah, so do our best, but also, sort of ask for help when it's needed. So great questions, and I'm enjoying the energy. So please keep putting in your live comments here. We are still in conversation with Radhika Saigal, and I will keep looking for your comments here. So, one question from my side, Radhika, since we're talking about leadership and we're talking about women, and we've seen this COVID crisis and research. I mean, whatever we're seeing right now, the New Zealand Prime Minister, is a lady Prime Minister, and the Kerala Health Minister Shelja, they have managed the COVID crisis very well. So, do you think women have a special edge in managing crisis situations?
Rashmi, I believe that it is inequality, and that's why I will not say that woman has a special edge. Whether it is man or a woman, they have an equal edge if they get the supportive environment to perform.
Okay, so you're saying that if it is a supportive environment where there is collaboration and there is energy, then everything will happen together.
That's
Okay,
right, and it's the same for men and women. There is no special edge or happening for either of the two genders.
yeah, but also, sort of research and studies have showed that if there is more women participation, if there are more women leaders on the board, it actually helps in better, brighter decisions. And also, there has been, the revenues of those companies have increased at least twice or thrice if there is a woman at the helm. So there
That's
are
right.
also research and studies which are there. So of course, but I also do agree that women do have that extra, what do you say, extra edge to understand situations as well. And of course, they also are great collaborators. So maybe that could also be a positive in, sort of helping them in this pandemic. So
Correct.
yeah, so when we're talking about, asking for help, do you believe in mentors? Did you have any mentors in your life?
So I didn't go through any specific mentorship program as a mentee. But having said that, I have always gone ahead and sought help or advice from seniors in my organization, and I still do that. But in addition to that, having role models in mind certainly helps. So for me, Kiran Majumdar Shaw as well as Indra Nui have been a very good role model that I keep listening to their piece of advice, their work, and that has helped me.
Okay, so so I mean, of course, these are all role models which are, iconic. Anybody closer home that who has helped you, an uncle, aunt, parent, friend, friends have been a great influence in my life. So is there any other person have you reached out? Because mentoring is such, right now with all the mentoring programs which are available, we also have our own natural mentors that we reach out to for a particular situation. I at least have five or six mentors that I reach out to for a particular situation. So what do you have to say in that?
No, I do reach out to my seniors in my organization and I seek their advice, which has helped me a lot. And on a personal front, it has to be my dad, who's an excellent listener. So he'll just listen, and by the end of you speaking, you yourself will realize that okay, you found the path because he has been very patiently listening through and being very supportive. So that has been a big anchor that I find in my life. That would.
Yeah, we all learn from, again, it's the support system that counts, right? So we also learn from a near and dear ones. So okay, there is this question from Anshul Dhaiya who says, how do you handle times when things don't happen as expected?
Yep, multiple times that things will not happen as we expect. Um, so there are two ways to look at it. If you think that you're on a right path, but it is not going your way, you can be persistent, and a persistence is a nothing that I would certainly advise in that situation. But there are situations where you will have to sit back and look whether what you're trying to do and why it is not happening, is it in best interest of everything? Are you wrong? If you are wrong, then you need to step back. It's okay to be wrong. Fail fast, recover fast, move ahead. Unless and until you're failing, you are not progressing. So keep evaluating whether you're on the right path, and even if you've failed, it's fine to fail, and change the course at that point in time. But if you're right, be persistent.
Okay, so be persistent, be confident, go on with what you believe in, and be confident and execute it. So great, great. I mean, you are an amazing leader. So there is this. You have a good fan following also. So there is this Anubhuti Chaturvedi who is saying, I also agree with Radhika, who is a better leader than our own PM. So I think it's all about giving equal opportunity for all, and any of the genders can shine given the opportunity and platform. It depends person to person. So of course, yeah, opportunity is definitely required. We have a question from Pratik. He says, we saw a lot of progress in tech, both in banking and in telecom in the last 5, 6 years. Where do you think is the next breakthrough coming in banking?
The next we have already reached a point where you don't need branches for banks. Everything has become digital. While in India, still there were lots and lots of branches, slowly you will start seeing no branch banks happening. Um, One example I would like to give here, Pratik, is, and it's a live example where Ernst& Young was involved. We helped one of the challenger bank create the entire digital banking in a way that within 3 minutes you can apply for loan and get the loan disbursed. And this has happened and is happening. And that's an app which now won NASCOM Best App Award. It was one of the most downloaded app. It was even publicized by one of our previous cricket captain. So, yes, the banking world certainly is moving towards no branch, everything in a single click, single, and everything becoming a digital now world. So that's just happening, and that will continue to happen.
Great. So, any other advice for other industries? I mean, there are other manufacturing industries as well. This was banking, and I know you do a lot. You are managing the banking sector, but do you have any pieces of advice or any learnings from other industries which can help which you can share it here right now?
So for all industries, one of the key element is the digitization in the entire supply chain. So whether it's manufacturing, you will have to invest in technology for best product to be developed at the cheapest possible cost, and then also invest in the best distribution through a digital supply chain. So those are the two things where that industry is currently focusing its energy on, and the pace has increased further with COVID, where physically going to a shop and buying stuff has decreased significantly.
Great. So, while we're talking about technology, I'm also wanting to sort of talk about your career. So, and we're talking about women. This is a women in tech platform. So, how do you think young women should approach their careers, and especially those who are mulling a tech career? What do they need to do? Do they need to go and sign up a coding course, or do they need to necessarily be engineers? What do they need to do?
First, go and do a course like the way I did it. Be really sure that this is something that you're going to enjoy doing. And then go for your calling. If you think that you want, this is your calling, go ahead and take that as a full time. If you can do engineering, certainly do engineering. But even if you are not doing engineering or science, keep yourself abreast with at least leveraging technology, even if you're not creating technology. That will be my advice.
Okay, so if I'm an artist, how could I leverage my technology?
So, good question. Art, if you're doing art as a passion, is one thing, but art as a profession, you will need to uh, put it out there for people to see it, admire it, and buy it. And that's where you will have to leverage technology for the sales element of your art, or exhibition or a distribution element of your art. All well with you, Rashmi?
Yeah. So I was having a tech challenge. I think my laptop was just about to go off, so I quickly tried and plugged it. So okay, so no, so we're talking about, so we can do a lot of things with technology. I think we just need to, sort of be abreast as to what we want to achieve. In fact, I do a lot of work. I do a lot of work around skilling and, coaching people, training people, etc. And it's amazing the way we have actually pivoted, because now everything is virtually. Initially people used to say we need Rashmi in person. Right now, they're very happy to not have Rashmi in person, and everything is happening online. So I think people are also changing. We also need to be changing our products. What was happening pre-COVID world will not necessarily happen in the current world. So we really need to be innovating ourselves and thinking differently before we go back to our same customers and our clients. And as Radhika said, that customer is still the king, so we have to sort of see how we can sort of address the king's needs. So
And Rashmi,
Lisa,
you should certainly talk about how you have pivoted in your career, left a very corporate kind of a setup and have become doing something on your own. Why don't you talk about that? I'm sure people would like to hear that.
oh, thank you so much, Radhika. So, I also was, a HR professional in a banking industry like you. But, all through my life, I was in banks, first Standard Chartered, then Deutsche Bank. And then I realized that, what I was doing 3 years back, I was doing the same thing even after a very higher designation. And then I realized that, hey, I'm not growing at all. And somewhere down the line, I thought that I wasn't pivoting. I was not enjoying, and it was totally like you. I was not enjoying what I was doing, and I thought that, hey, I need to make a change right now. And it so happened that I met like-minded people, and we started this firm called Beyond Diversity, which is an all-women firm, and we are doing what we love doing passionately. So working with women, we are talking about women, we're giving them, the kind of support and help required for them to, sort of grow and, be the leaders of change. That's what we're doing. And then there's a lot of work around inclusion that we do, which is just not gender but everybody. And I am passionate. Every day in the morning when I get up, I am so excited and I'm so energized because I'm changing the world. So yeah, we just need to see what we are doing, and every time you just need to get up in the morning and say, hey, am I excited or am I not excited? And that's how we, sort of pivot in this world. So keep your questions going, guys. We are still live with Radhika, and we have another 12 minutes, and I think we have a lot of conversation still to do. So, Radhika, I mean, what are your other interests? They do say that there are a lot of other social interests which, sort of help you in your work life as well. So, do you have any interesting hobbies? I feel you're a dancer. Are you?
I have to ask you, why do you feel I am a dancer? But I am a trained classical dancer, yes,
See, I
and I
told
like
you. I told you. Okay.
and I
So,
do enjoy dancing, whether it's in Garba, etc. Now, if my friends have witnessed, we have collectively won such certain awards as well. Right now, with COVID, I'm enjoying baking with my daughter. We try and bake different things every weekend and try different items.
yeah, and that also helps in creativity, right? So if you do something which is different from the normal, you actually start thinking about the, the problem that you're facing, say in your work, and it sort of comes to you when you're not in the program. So you're just outside of it and you come with the solution. So I think we definitely need to be looking at a passions excellence. So there's a question from Anuranjita. What's the new normal? How do you define the new normal?
New normal is completely a digital world where we are socializing through technology, maintaining social distance. We are the privileged lot where we have money and we are continuing to earn. But new normal is not that normal for a lot of people in India who are daily wage earners. So a little thought is required on how to get them back to a new normal way of working and living, and that's my thought right now as well. How can we do something drastically different to get a lot of people in India to come back to at least a normal where they were from an economical standpoint before COVID?
Yeah, and I think we all need to come together to come for a common solution to help this entire segment of society, because they are very much a part of our lives and we cannot survive with them, and they cannot survive, if we do not support them. So I think we definitely need to be doing something. So there's a question from Anshul Dahiya who says, "Do you relate with millennial mindset, and if yes, to what extent?"
I have a teenage daughter, so I have to relate to it. I try to relate to it much more these days, where I do, but I do see that there is a generation gap, and the generation gap is now widening. Now, but I strongly feel that when the generation gap is widening, it is the older generation who needs to take that leap and catch up with the generation. So yes, I'm trying. I will not say that I can completely relate to them, but I'm trying to relate to them.
So there is this entire thing also about millennials, sort of embracing technology much faster than the older people. So, and in this scenario also, there is this entire tension of slightly the older generation saying that they're losing their jobs to the newer generations. So, do you have any of your viewpoints around that, about technology millennials versus older generations?
There's a lot of conversation on generational diversity. You will need experience, but at the same time, you will need newer ways of doing things. And hence, over a period of time, you will start seeing that diversity will also play an important role, how things will move forward with all different types of generation working together, and everybody will be bringing some positives which needs to be nurtured and taken ahead. That's a firm belief that I have, Rashmi, there. Now, but one more thing that I feel is, the concept of 8 to 6 kind of a work which we generation had in the corporate world. The new generation, more and more I interact with, they have a different concept. They want their flexibility. At the same time, they want to use technology and give it back, but they don't want to just limit their entire life working the way we and our previous generations have done. So there's a lot of mindset change that is also happening, and it will be very interesting to see how positives of both the generation can then be leveraged forward.
Yeah, but we also have this mindsets, or bias saying millennials, are more used to technology versus people from older generations. What do you have to say on that? Do you think
That's a
is it
fact.
is it the
That's a
fact that
that's
you talked about your father at the age of 70, sort of embracing technology? So where is that coming from?
So a kid who is just even a 1 year old kid or a 2 year old kid, you just give him a phone, you will start seeing that they have navigated through the phone pretty quickly, and that's what they're doing. So the way a new generation is growing in an environment of technology is very, very different as compared to us, and very different from our previous generation, for sure. So while everybody bases this new adversity have been forced to adopt a lot of aspects of technology, it is many a times it is out of, as you say, majburi ka naam Mahatma Gandhi. They have been forced to do it versus they are enjoying doing it now. Whereas now when you look at the kids, they enjoy, and this is their, they think this is pretty normal. The life is normal. Their life is out there on social media. We'll think twice before putting anything on social media. So there is a different mindset basis what they have seen, and it's all about environment in which they are coming up. So yes, that difference exists, and that difference is for positive.
Okay. So when we're talking about differences and we're talking about also flexibility, you talked about flexibility. And I think right now with COVID, everybody is working from home and everybody has embraced flexibility. Everybody is working from homes. So there is this entire prediction in HR circles where they're talking about gig working and, part-time working, contractual working. What is your view? Do you think technologists also will be into moving into gig working, etc.?
Absolutely. Now, the entire world is now going to adopt gig working, crowdsourcing. You can get the work outsourced, and the work gets done, and it gets insourced, and everything is working fine. So that's going to be that is already happening, and that is going to be happening even at a faster rate. With what I mentioned, that millennials don't want this traditional 8 to 6 kind of a job.
Okay. So there's a question from Mohinder Patravali who says, due to COVID, what are the customer BFSI thoughts towards tech transformation? Is it aggressive, passive, or on hold? What are the current priorities?
So a lot of long-term programs which were started maybe a couple of years back are no longer valid and they are on hold. A lot of new work because entire customer interaction point has become digital, and making that digitally enabled for customer is picking up steam. The pace at which the optimization was happening in terms of infrastructure optimization to workforce optimization, that is going at a much higher rate right now.
Okay. And then we have a question from Anshul Dhaya again, who says, do you think gradual drift from our values has made the newer generation smarter but fragile? It's a millennial question.
So fragile is something that I will not say just a newer generation. I mean, everybody saw what happened to Sushant Singh Rajput, and I won't call him millennial, right? So fragile, many of us are fragile, and that's where we need to focus on EQ as much as we are focusing on knowledge gaining, and that has to happen from childhood itself. So focus on emotional quotient of your child is very, very important.
Yeah, yeah. So I think fragility and mental wellness is required for everybody, irrespective of the situation. So I think it's just not about the millennial generation, but everybody else.
Everybody.
Everybody is right now focused whether I have a job, I don't have a job, whether I'm ready, you know, whether I'll get COVID, whether I'm dying, not dying. So everybody is in the same same storm. But how we handle it is actually depends on the individual. You're very, very
You're
right. It
very
depends on
true.
your
And I feel, Rashmi, that this taboo of mental illness has to completely go.
yeah,
Depressions are for real. Let us accept it. It is as real as anybody getting a cough and a cold and they you seeking help
exactly.
for that. It is as real as that. And as a society, we have to accept that in a same fashion. And as an individual, people have to seek help in the same fashion. And that has to change.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I do hope that after this unfortunate series of events, the people will be a little more aware of what exactly mental illness is. So okay, so before we close, we just have 3 minutes. I'll do a I usually do it with all the people that I interview. I do a small I've taken it from the Karan Johar show, so I do a small rapid fire round. So just come with your first whatever is your first response. I will ask you. You have to just choose that and just let's just have some fun.
This
So
is going
work
to be
from
tough, Rashmi. This is going to be
and
tough.
there is no hamper. Sorry, there's no hamper, but I can tell Anuranjita to send you something. So
Thank you.
okay, so work from home or work from office?
Right now, work from home, otherwise, work from office with flexibility to work from home.
So blended. Okay, okay. So only one word, huh? Don't say so many words. So
Okay.
COVID vaccination. Your prediction: 2020 or 2021?
2021.
Oh God. Okay. Do you prefer video calls or in person meetings?
In person meetings.
Okay. In spite of you being the tech head.
Yeah, the
Okay.
personal touch has a different feeling.
This has a different feeling. New office building sites or investment in technology?
Investment in technology.
Okay. So, how will you go for your meetings and how will you do your in person meetings?
In a coffee shop.
Oh, good one. That's a good one. Okay. Mobile learning or classroom learning?
Classroom learning. It's not just about knowledge. And sorry, I'm again saying a full sentence. EQ is very important. And for that, you have to have social interaction. So, any day classroom learning.
Okay. Hiring more or hiring less?
Hiring just right, diverse talent.
Beautiful. Gig workers or full time workers?
Gig workers.
Okay. Bharatnatyam or Kathak?
Bharatnatyam.
Social distancing or socially active?
Socially active.
Okay, right now, not right now, I hope.
Socially active through digital means right now.
Okay. Acha, one word to survive and thrive in this post-COVID world.
Empathy.
Okay. So good. You did great. And I will give you a 10 on 10, Radhika. So a big round of applause.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so we
I'll be waiting for my hamper.
we will tell Anu and we'll tell Pratik. Okay, so we are at 4 o'clock, but I'll take the one last question, which has come from Mohinder again. He says, "What is the core focus to grow business going forward for EY? Going forward, core focus."
It's business transformation, creating a better working world, and any transformation would be led with technology. So, technology led business transformation to create a better working world.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Radhika, for sort of sharing your heartfelt thoughts to us. It was amazing. This last 1 hour was amazing. Didn't even realize it went. Thank you, Jogi, for sort of organizing this entire setup so beautifully, very seamlessly. And thank you, the Women in Technology team, and Anuranjita for putting this all together. So thank you.
Same,
This
thank
has
you,
been
Women in Technology, Anuranjita, Pratik, all of you. And thank you, Rashmi. It was amazing 1 hour. And thank you for having me here.
yes. Thank you, thank you. We look forward to the next Women in Technology talk. So please keep tuned. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.